the mic's on and we're good to go. I start a few minutes early, even though, Jim, if you're still there, I'm sorry. I really, good at screwing things up lately, apparently. So, I hope that you at least were able to enjoy your coffee in Danish. Well, I was not here doing the things when I thought I would be here. Okay, so I have set up this situation here to be a little different. I'm on a different side of my studio. Does that work? Yeah. I have my camera over my shoulder to my easel, so we're gonna give this setup a bit of a try and get some light, maybe. And hopefully this will work. It's a little crazy in the studio because to get my little webcam over here and my microphone over here, I have some wires going like right down the middle of the room. But this, I think it's working out all right. The lighting is decent because we have a beautiful sunny day for once, and yeah, gonna try oil paints again and see how that goes. I've done some observing and learning, and I think I will maybe have a better idea of what the heck I'm doing. And I do want to apologize for last week's, not last week, my God, what day of the week is it? For Monday's stream that went horribly wrong because my phone could not apparently handle doing the stream. It is a lot of learning as I go, and unfortunately, I don't always get it right or figure it out in time. But yeah, nonetheless, here we are. Bright and early on Thursday. Had a coffee, ready to go, I think. So I'm going to have this within reach, but hopefully not where I'll knock it over, because I am a bit of a walking catastrophe most days. And I'm going to move the webcam for a second, so you should be able to see how my setup is. I have my easel here, and then my little tabouret is set here with my brushes, my turpentine, and my paints over here. This is my palette, my mic and my iPad, so I can see what's happening over there too. All right, let me get this back up here. And okay, I think that's a pretty decent spot. I'll try to keep an eye on things. Make sure I don't blow anything up. Sort of been captured by non-Somalian pirates. You know, you never know these days, especially for me. It's, anything can happen. So, all right. My first plan of attack with this guy is to just kind of leave the shapes kind of where they are. I made some minor corrections in marker, but I'm gonna, because the skin tones just feel very muddy to me, so I'm gonna go in and just lay in some fresh, like, cool tones and some fresh warm tones and work from there a little bit and start working out into the whole canvas a little bit and just gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna pull up some colors here. Didn't break anything yet. Okay, I'm gonna go with some. I'm actually gonna try something that I was watching some people do where they didn't put down any browns on their palette at all, even working with skin tones, just using complementary tones mixed together. And I think that's a really kind of great idea, and I'm gonna see if that'll work for me. I just have to find my colors. Okay, I need a blue. I got cerulean blue, that'll do, and white. Definitely white. And the last thing I need is green. Viridian Hue is the only green I have outside of one of these really old ones that had been in my dad's set, where it's like the paint's kind of busting out of the back of it and it's 60 years old. So I'll have to add that to my list to get a better shade of green. I just rarely ever am very happy with the greens as they come. All right. So I'm going to just get these set out a little bit on the palette, and then I'm ready to blow up everything. Okay. I won't lie. I'm a little worried that I'm just gonna make it worse, and yet I don't know that it can get that worse from where it is now. So we might as well just try and see if I can do something with it. So, just real quick, I'm laying some colors down. I'm probably going to need more white than I put down, but that's okay. And I'll leave that one out then, because I think I'll probably need more. Some of this green. Yeah, it's very, I don't know how well you can tell it. This is a very like blue-green color. It's almost reminds me of like a phthalo green. I don't know. It is not my preferred green, but I have all the tools I need to make it work, so we're just gonna go with it. And cerulean blue. I will probably maybe eventually get a different blue tone too. Because I started out buying a Winsor & Newton like just set. The first time I decided I should try to get into oil painting. So I bought like a pre-made just basic set with your red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and did it even have purple? I don't think it had purple. It had like a couple browns, white and black. I think something like that. So that was just to get me started and to kind of experiment a little bit. And once I have felt like I wanted to expand, I have started buying a few other shades that I knew were missing. And the more I go, the more I realize that something does or doesn't work. So, or it isn't what I prefer. Because there's certainly a level of carryover of what I usually work with in other paint mediums that I like and don't like. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking. Okay, please open without squirting on me. There we go. This is my yellow. And maybe that's enough to get us started. I'm going to throw a little stand oil on the palette. Try not to spill things everywhere. I should probably get like a little cup or something I can just put some in. But for now, it'll work. All right. Now, the scary part. Painting. Alrighty. Right, this week, it's a bit of a blur, I would say, which is not a bad thing necessarily. I don't know that I'm getting as much done as I would really like to, but I guess that's how I feel all the time. Anybody else have that? Where it's like, no matter how much time you have or how much you get done, you're never really particularly happy with it. That's a lot of what I've been feeling anymore. Most of the time, which is normal, I guess, for me. Probably normal for a lot of people. So I think this should be picking up decently. I experimented with a few different camera setups. Actually, yesterday I was trying to be proactive, and since I knew that this was going to be a different setup than I normally have at home, and after the debacle of Monday's stream, I wanted to have things pretty well figured out. So I tested it out in a few different ways. I tried even having the other camera and the web camera that's actually on my computer, with trying to do like just a close-up of just the canvas. So you would see that in like maybe a section over where my face cam is. And I couldn't get a good enough resolution on it. I didn't think it looked real good. And then of course it's really hard for me to not be in the way to be able to see the canvas. So really seems to be best to have the camera kind of over my shoulder behind the way it is now, and I can adjust the zoom. Potentially I could even go in a little closer to it and just cut off some areas, and you just see where I'm working at that one given time. But for now, I think I'm hoping that this is okay. That it makes sense and that it works. So yes, my intention right now is primarily to lay in some of the cool areas. Just start blocking it out a little bit. And then I'll do the same with some warm tones, and then I can kind of start refining it a little bit more. All right. And it's just got like so golden yellow on the face, which I don't entirely hate, but it definitely looks a little plastic. I think I would prefer to pull her a little more towards the pinks and reds for the warm tones. So we're gonna start with that. Whoa. That was really pink. Lighten that up. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. Definitely will need more white paint on this palette. That is for sure. Okay, looking like she's wearing a clay mask at the moment, but that's all right. This is just gonna get us started. Gonna get me started. Most of her body is only going to be kind of suggested a little bit. She's going to be kind of being enveloped by almost kind of a watery, oily space. Today looks, I think it's supposed to be close to 70. It's in the 60s anyway. Sun is shining and it is super, super beautiful. I hope hoping that I can have a good kind of productive start of the day in the studio. Maybe I'll be able to get in a walk, and that would be super nice. Best thing about days like today is actually being able to enjoy it a little bit. Worst case scenario, maybe I'll just have to run some errands. I think I'm about due for a Costco run, which is always a bit of a project, but I do love Costco. I don't know if that means I'm like, if that's a sign of getting old, but yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Okay. Start to let some blending happen in the bigger shape areas. And for as like chaotic as it looks right now, I'm actually already happier with it than I was just a little bit ago. So, hey, win. Step in the right direction. I think I'm gonna need to. I've been thinking with the streams that like music would be nice, but it's a whole thing to have music playing. Copyright issues and all that kind of stuff. And I know that there's some like freebie music that you can get from YouTube, but it's a lot of like 3-minute little songs that are very, I don't know, certainly fine, I'm sure, but I'm thinking I actually downloaded some software because I don't have enough to try to figure out and do for making some music maybe. And I sound crazy just saying it out loud because I think it wasn't that long ago I was talking about all the rabbit holes that I was kind of pursuing. And oh yeah, I did buy some fabric, but I still haven't broken out the machine and plugged it in and checked to see if it even works yet. So here I am now exploring another one. But if I could even just come up with some like basic loopable things that were pleasant, nice, you know, have a little bit of just, you know, good chill painting tones and stuff. I once spent a few minutes trying to look up like, oh, what's good music to paint to? And that got me a whole lot of playlists of music that I really don't like. They demand their hostage weight and go, that's true. And when I was very young, I'd actually had some time where I considered pursuing music rather than art. Like I knew I wanted to do one or the other. Obviously I chose art, but I have always had an interest. I played piano for years and years and years. Heck, I even had vocal lessons when I was a kid. I learned how to sing. It didn't go towards much. Enjoy it, I guess. But other than that, I don't know. It's just something that I do enjoy and would consider messing around with maybe. It just wouldn't be able to take up a ton of time because there's so much I mean, there's so much I have to get done, much less all the things that I do want to spend time exploring and enjoying and trying, which is always a very long list. All right. I'm getting close to probably a decent enough place here. To start actually something. I tell you, I'm a danger to myself. I have a retired bath towel. This is kind of my go-to for painting. Painting with oils. Because they say you should have a cotton rag. Well, I have a giant one. And it's good to not, it's green. Don't have to go out and buy rags for anything. I got them. I got stuff that still can have another life. All right, I think smaller brush maybe for a bit here. She looks like an angry ghost. Part of that is because of what I'm doing. The eyes I have just kind of blacked out because of what I'm planning to do with the painting. And that makes it look a little crazy for the moment. Not sure that helped at all. I've been getting photos. My mom and my sister are in Italy right now. And I've been watching for the photos as my sister has been taking and posting on Instagram, and looks amazing. Looks like they're having an amazing time and seeing cool things. So very excited for them. I'm always freaked out about travel. Stresses me out. As much as I feel like I should enjoy it and like all that sort of thing, like it's something you should do, it's good for you, and I've done some, but man, it does just take a toll. think she's just getting scarier. I started watching this show called The Power. They take the hostage to their tropical island hideout and feed them 4 meals a day with dessert. So the longer it takes for the ransom to be delivered, the higher it gets. As long as they include dessert, though, who really cares? I brought up the thing with that show that I said I was watching because I feel like she's starting to look like one of the characters on that show. Which is sort of random. One thing I think I need to do at this point is pull up my... because it's behind me, I haven't been looking. I need to pull up my reference and have that nearby. That would certainly be helpful. And even now, I'm kind of not holding on to my shadows as well as I need to be. That's kind of the trick of this all is I was trying to go off of my drawing without having to look, but then as you lose the drawing as you paint, that's not working quite as well. I'm thinking about setting up a separate computer. I have this mini Mac that had been my mom's, and it's actually quite a few years old. But it wasn't working for her. I took it and gave her my previous, it was an old iMac Pro that I had that was I had to replace it for myself because it wasn't doing what I needed it to do, but it can do what she would need the computer to do just fine. So she got my old 27-inch iMac Pro. I took her Mac Mini to see if I could kind of do anything with it. And, okay. And, oh, what happened? There it is. And it works fine. It's just not, ever gonna be like a powerful computer at all. Which is not really, I don't know. I haven't figured out anything to do with it. But that might be a thing that would be useful, is to set it up as just for streaming, because it's small and it doesn't take up hardly any space. Have it on that side of my room so I don't have to run cables across, like cutting the room in half, preferably. And something to consider. It's been on my mind as a possibility, but no big hurry. All right, as I get paint all over myself, probably. It wouldn't be a proper painting day if that didn't happen. Okay. Clearly people, and I'm much more used to painting people with watercolor, so this is a little all over the board, but I'll try to work it out. And on the forehead here, that's looking a little intense in a weird way. I think I gave her some like forehead worry lines on accident. It's funny because she just looks angry. Which is not entirely the intention, but I'll keep working on her. I'm not super focused on like details, just trying to get forms and some like and some color usage that's not too crazy, not too muddy, preferably. It is very different though than working with watercolor. Because with watercolor, when I do that, I'm working, with glazes and building slowly. and the white is in the paper. You're not actually painting any white on it. So that's something that's very different too. Starting to kind of see something go on here that is closer to what I'm looking for. Losing that brow. All right. Well, it's definitely better than what I started with today. So there's that. Now, let's see. There's a good chance that I will hit a point where it's like I should be pulling back and I'm not learning when to stop. Is still going to be a thing for me when it comes to oil painting, for sure. All right, let me maybe leave it about here for the face for the moment. Start perhaps working on some of the other areas. As I keep messing around. All right, so I might just start kind of laying in some lines of shape where I'm gonna have some kind of color showing for the background area and the rest of it. So these lines are going to kind of tell me where certain areas will be, or colors and effects. That's the thought anyway. All right. Woke up this morning to lawnmowers. We've officially reached that time of the year. Although I could also have the window open last night, you could smell like that fresh cut grass almost right away. Oh yeah, that's nice. I'll deal with the lawnmowers for that. Especially since they were going off when I was supposed to be getting up anyway. So, take what you can get. I've started Boardwalk Empire. The 1920s production design is excellent. Ooh, I don't know too much about this show, but yes, I've seen some things about the design of it, and it does look amazing. I was at a How conference I guess it was in Chicago some few years back, and the I don't know, it wasn't really a trailer house. There was this company that just did the design for the opening credits. And that was one of them that they'd done, and they were showing some of the behind the scenes of that, and it's super cool. Amazing what they can do with this stuff. Yeah, good design. You almost take it for granted anymore because almost anything and everything can have it. Just incredible. And I don't know if it's just because everybody has insane budgets or what it is, but it is amazing. I love to see it. Of course, I have seen some, at least movies, where it's like, oh, looks amazing, but that was about it. Well, at least somebody was doing their job, I guess. I was trying to think. I feel like I've seen some other movies or something recently, but I'm not thinking of them. The late night show, not like comedy host show, but it's a host, like it's sort of like an Elvira or a Svengoolie, Joe Bob. He's on Shudder through AMC, and they do seasons where he hosts on Friday nights 2 movies. And I grew up watching his show Monster Vision when I could catch it. When I was a kid, I'd try to stay up late to be able to watch that and usually get yelled at to go to bed, but anytime I could catch a movie or two on there, I always loved it. So fond memories there, of course, but yeah, that started this last week. What did they show? Oh, I think I talked about it already. It was Lucio Fulci's Zombie was the first one, and the second one was I didn't manage to stay up for the second movie, but it was one that I've seen, and we used to own it. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it was The Devil's Reign with William Shatner was in it, the lead. So that was kind of crazy to see that come up on there. I bought a battery-powered mower. They're much quieter. Oh yeah, around here, because I live in a condo and I'm surrounded by condos and townhomes. So it's all the landscapers that come and just do their pass through kind of quickly, and then they vanish, And And they are definitely not using battery, but it's like it's the mower and then it's the blower and it's all the things they have that they haven't used. But you know what? As long as I don't have to do the mowing, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not the one that has to be out there doing it. That works. There's definitely like pros and cons to just about any living situation, of course. Apartments, condos, home ownership. And anytime you find yourself pining for the pros of one you don't have, just remind yourself of some of those cons. I know some people enjoy like lawn care and stuff. It's not so much for me. I kill plants constantly, and it's really upsetting. I have just in the last couple of months, I really went through a phase where I'm like, I would like to have houseplants around here. And I got a bunch of really nice, beautiful houseplants. I was trying my best to keep them alive. And it was essentially to no avail. I really just, for a while, they did fine. And then eventually they're like, yeah, we know what you're about. We're not hanging around here with you. And they just started knocking off. And no matter what I did, I haven't been able, like one or two are still holding on. I have one plant that's like 10 years old, and it's doing just fine. It's a philodendron. Because that thing, God, it feels like that thing would probably survive a nuclear war, being the fact that I can't kill it. And I have this one monstera plant that's doing okay, but it's getting really leggy because I don't think it likes the amount of sun that it gets here. So a friend of mine bought me a light bulb. He gave me when he had a spare light bulb for like a grow light to try to help keep the plants healthy and happy. But I need to figure out moving some things around because where I have them right now, no matter how I try to adjust the grow light, it like kind of shines right in your eyes for where my partner sits to work during the workday. It's kind of problematic. Can't have that shining all day when it's like that. So I need to move them, and then I have a cat that gets into everything, so it's also figuring out where can I put things that he's not going to try to destroy it. So all those things. Poor plants. It really upsets me kind of if I really think about it. Like, man, I don't want to be killing things. They're supposed to bring light and happy color and stuff. And they're like, oh, I just over there croaking, one leaf left, staring at me accusingly in the other room. Failure of a plant mother. I know I don't have the best light, but I've tried to buy things that have said that they're okay, like they don't need full light. Well, apparently in my care, they just aren't happy. Things you try. And I don't know, I'm sure that I've done things wrong. I'm sure that I haven't been consistent enough with watering, like not giving them enough water at this point and then too much when I do and that sort of thing, because I tend to like kind of function in this like survival mode where it's like I'm just doing the best I can do sometimes. And I guess if they can't thrive under those situations, then that is going to be probably a problem, and maybe I shouldn't have plants. Maybe I'll just buy a whole ton of philodendron, except that philodendron are bad for cats, so I have to have it up high, especially because they're dangly and exceptionally, that tends to be very, very much a temptation for critters. So, yeah, that's where we are with that. Plants. They don't love me. No matter how much I try to make them. But I guess you can only do what you can do. So this has essentially become my my test canvas, I guess. While I try to figure out what I'm doing with oil paints, while I experiment and try to learn. So I'm hoping that I will be able to get it to turn into something that I love and am proud of, but if it doesn't, I'm also not going to be very upset about it, because you got to have a platform for trying and learning and experimenting, and if you're going to get upset about those things going bad, then that's kind of a bad situation to be in, and just stop you from trying things, and that's the last thing that we need or want. Well, you know, get a bit of a warm glaze for this area, although I probably should at this point start let a layer dry a bit so that I can do some glazing on there. Kind of go back in at that after that and do some refining. It's very much a different thing, and some getting used to how it reacts, how it interacts. Putting layers on with medium or without, how it interacts, how the colors interact with each other, what works, what doesn't. It's definitely interesting and definitely a learning process. this is I'm kind of at that fun part of learning a thing where it's like you do some research and learn about it and you're like, oh, I get it. It clicks. You're like, you go and you try to do it, and when you do it, it doesn't work out at all. The way you thought that you had it, and then you have to like kind of, oh, okay, revisit the drawing board, adjust, really pay attention the next time. What is it that made something work and not work? It's a little bit of that like power through phase where it does require some desire to push through all the ugly stuff, but I enjoy this part a lot. This part of the process. And having the opportunity to kind of like stand back and look at it from across the room, I think will help a lot too. Getting a little easy to get a little like too close in and start to not see things. The nose is not right. I mean, there's some things that I can tell I don't quite have yet, but that was an overcorrection. Hello, Watson. You just rambled in. Must be getting bored. I'm getting bored out there, sitting in the sun. Although actually there probably isn't. We probably reached that point of the morning where the sun isn't shining directly in anymore. Okay. need to start thinking through what exactly is going to be happening everywhere too. Like, yeah, I kind of have a little bit of a backward situation. Which is way I often tend to work, for good or bad. But sometimes it doesn't serve you very well, especially when you're trying to figure some things out. As I am here. Oh my. That got weird here for a second. That's not quite it. That's what it is. Nostrils were not right at all. Not that they are now either. But still a little bit of a mess. Okay. We might be getting to a point where it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to walk away from this for a little while. So that I can kind of step back and see it a little better. All right. I keep saying that and not doing it. Let me move this a little bit straight on. Well, can't see what I'm doing. That gives a better idea of what it is looking like now. And it is a drastic improvement from where we started at today. Still some work to do, obviously a lot of work to do, but getting the base of it corrected and set up a little bit better, that will help. So before, I will be wrapping up now. I'll clean up my brushes and let this kind of marinate a little bit in my brain and in the studio. I'll probably touch at it a bit, but probably pick it up again on Monday evening, 7 p.m. It will be, or we should be going forward unless something comes up, and I will put out notice, should be on regularly scheduled times at this point. 10 a.m. Thursdays, 7 p.m. Mondays Central Time, and apologies profusely for screwing up the time this morning in what I scheduled, and also for Monday stream, which was a total disaster. So hopefully we'll pick this back up on Monday and keep it going, and maybe actually accomplish something. Yay, how about that? That would be great. But thank you so much. I hear voices in the background. Yeah. That is a meeting starting in the other room. So I will get off of here and good times. All right. Well, especially Jim, thank you. I'm really sorry that I had the time wrong. But thanks for hanging out with me and watching me kind of try to figure things out and power through this. And hopefully I will see you on Monday. Bye. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.